Hey, wake up, it's Alex, and I have some quick, rapid-fire tips for Knight Silksong. If you click in the right stick, you can taunt. This screams out an inaudible insult to lure the attention of nearby enemies. The taunt costs a tiny amount of the silk resource to do, but it can be used to pull enemies into traps you've set up with tools or split up patrolling groups. Your jump attack sequence can be very slightly faster than the combos you do on the ground. To do this, you'll need a short hop attack, so just tap jump as briefly as possible and immediately rock your thumb over to the attack button. Quickly! This short hop attack string can sometimes be just fast enough to weave in an additional hit during those micro windows that enemies leave open in this game. Once you have the swift step on right trigger, instead of using it to jump left or right in the air, you can actually just press down instead to quickly dash straight to the ground. This has a few practical uses, like using it in combat to quickly get back to the floor to chain into subsequent attacks, or reset while airborne to avoid incoming stabby stabs. The downward swifty step can also be used for general traversal to rapidly descend with stylish leg-dangly cinematic flair. Silksong's animation details are just the best. Good job, devs. If you head over to the far west section of Greymoor, it's a jolly place, you'll find here the Chapel of the Reaper. Complete its little platforming challenge and you'll earn a massive upgrade, one of my favorite things in the entire game, the Reaper Crest. Equip this as your main weapon crest at a bench, and this will alter your moveset. Now your downward aerial attack is a nice wide slash, which makes many platforming sections flat out easier, especially if you find that you're struggling with the default diagonal downward stab that punishes you pretty hard for missing. The Reaper Crest downward air attack also becomes one of your safest combat options, since it's pretty easy to use like a pogo to continually bounce on top of targets as you slash down into their thorax. I had to look that up. Bug stuff. The Reaper Crest also comes with a buff that triggers after you heal, that spits out little orbs of silk from enemies as you continue to land attacks. This makes it so you can heal mid-fight and often use this bonus to quickly earn back enough silk to have another heal all ready to go. Or use it for one of those risky silk-infused attacks that you're never quite sure if you should have done that or saved it for healing. If an enemy chucks a physical projectile at your horny face like the weapon they're wielding, if you simply attack it before it hits you, you'll remain perfectly unharmed as it phases right through you. Since your dash maneuver on right trigger doesn't have invulnerability to pass through incoming hits, attacking is sometimes a better evade. Also, as long as the enemy's body itself doesn't connect with you, you can attack their weapon mid-swing animation to cancel it out and not get hit by it. If the enemy hits with multiple quick attacks in a row, you can use this to absorb the first strike and then jump or dash to avoid the rest of the sequence. Now, depending on the speed of the system that you're playing Silksong on, like the Wii U, you can actually skip watching this entire travel scene by just pressing the jump input during it. If only every game had loading screen skips. This next one is more of a bonus for the lore absorbers out there, but once you have the Needolin upgrade, you can actually play it in front of most NPCs to hear them sing a short, fully voiced, well, bug-voiced song. Even this poor little insect you just used for target practice has a short story to tell if you get her to sing. Play this near the fleas you've collected and they'll joyously react to the music. Play the Needolin near your travel companion and it'll coo out a rumbly growl along with you. The big beast bashing into the side of this wall, you can momentarily pacify it by just playing the Needolin, to then hear it sing about its desires to break through that wall. Play a tune near certain corpses and it might actually summon a spectral ghostly image of that character that sings you a little backstory. Enemies themselves are going to be your double jump for a big section of the game. Downward attacking off enemies can bounce you up to normally unreachable heights. Lure enemies into range to take shortcuts and test the testers, or propel off aerial enemies to get around a bit faster. After you die and leave behind that cocoon of silk that you'll need to go back and reclaim, hold up a second, maybe top off your health before you destroy it. Destroying your cocoon provides a huge chunk of silk when it breaks. So in tough encounters or boss arenas, you might want to leave your cocoon corpse untouched on purpose. Then you can tactically use your previous death for a quick resupply of silk to heal or whatever. Just don't die before you get it. If you head to this location in Sinner's Road, another jolly place, you'll find here 2 NPCs that have a side quest to acquire roach guts from nearby enemies. Yum. I recommend you do this one as soon as you get it for its reward, which is one of my personal favorite tools, the Tacks. Not tax, Tacks. Thumbtacks. I like these because you can quickly stack multi-hits of damage if you lure enemies into them and then ideally smack them back in so they can't leave. These are lifesavers for ground-based bosses, since you can chip away huge chunks of health if you get them to linger in the DPS of the attacks season. Speaking of spikes and toes, spikes in the world aren't really so scary. You can just downward air attack spikes to endlessly bounce off them to avoid getting hit. Spinning blade wheel of death? Nah, jump ramp. However, look out for natural thorns. Thorns cannot be bonked off of with your attack since they're not made of immovable metal. Nice detail. If you journey to this location in the far fields, you'll find a vendor here that sells the weighted belt. If you equip this to your crest, it'll reduce the knockback you suffer when struck, but also reduce how far you move away from enemies when you attack. This lets you more effectively hold your ground and get in a quick sequence of strikes, since each hit won't push you as far away each time. By the way, to expand the total number of pendants you can socket into your crest, you can toggle over to any unopened nodes on the crest and consume a memory locket if you have one. This will give you more spots for upgrades. When you die, sorry it will happen, you'll drop all of your very, very important rosary beads, which are used for many important purchases in the game. However, keep a lookout for spider eggs hidden around the environments, because those will drop you a Silkeater. Using one of these will immediately retrieve your That Cocoon and all of those rosaries without the risk of losing them if you die before you make it back. If you're trying to save a huge chunk of rosaries that you had on you, but you have a Silkeater item in your inventory, maybe get to a place first where you can turn rosaries into necklaces before you use the Silkeater. Then you can gain back that big stack of rosaries you had and immediately turn those into rosary necklaces. This converts individual rosaries that you could lose into necklaces that you won't lose upon death. You do take a slight loss on this conversion though, like spending 80 rosaries to make a necklace that gives you back 60 rosaries. Insect commerce doing its thing. Okay, and I think that about wraps this one up, but let me know before you flee, what are your raw thoughts on Hollow Knight Silksong so far? Worth living to 2025 for? Are you breezing through it, struggling with the challenge, or just deep lost somewhere wondering where the heck is the map? I don't know where I'm going. Alright, that's it. I'm Alex, and enjoy these songs of Silk.